Aloha, Richard Halverson here, and we are continuing with our assignment 4. I just made a video showing you uh, how to create an API that can be accessed using AJAX from your JavaScript to come up with a key value based on the first and last name. And I showed you how to do that in PHP. And what I'm going to do in this video is, if instead of using PHP you'd like to learn a little bit of Python, I'm going to do the same key generation in Python. So what it is you enter in a first name, and then what happens is the the program returns a key value that's valid based on the other members that have first and last initials the same, a key value that's valid. And so you saw it here, and so I haven't saved this yet. But if we look at the page source, uh, we're going to add a new function here, which goes and grabs uh, the next key value based on that with this API that we've created, or that we're going to create, and this is the JavaScript to invoke that. And so when the first name or the last name changes, then this is invoked, and it's written the key value that is returned from this little API is written in the ID key, which is right there. Okay, now I've erased all this back again, ID key. Okay, I don't think anyway. Okay, so I'm going to save the changes, and let's see. I was going to remove. That's right. I was going to remove this. So I was going to rewrite it again to show you, and take these out, and this. And I guess I can leave that in there. Okay, so let's find out where we are. Let me close this. Is this still? Okay, go into here. We're doing it here, and it is register. All right. Okay, good. All right, so let's start by creating a new file here, and I'm going to call it getkey.py this time, because it's a Python file. And okay, so it turns out we have to mess with permissions and everything, but I'll do that later. So first of all, let's just open it up. And the first line of your Python file has got to be this line which goes out and grabs Python. So it's you start that by a hashtag, and then an exclamation point, and then a slash, and then the usr/bin/python, and that grabs out the Python interpreter. And so let's just do a print hello world. Okay, let's just do that. Save this. I'm going to press enter. Okay, save this. And now let's see if we can run that. Let me just open up a new. I'm going to go like this. Do a right click here and open to a new tab. And here I'm just going to say get key.py. And what happens is it just shows the code. It didn't execute, it just showed the code. So how do you make it execute? I'll go back here and let's find it. Here it is, get key.py. Do a right click and do change permissions, and give all three of these execute permission. So it's going to be 755. Click change permissions, And let's reload this. And we have get py, it's 40 bytes, and the permissions are 755. We go back here and hit refresh. Still doesn't work. I think what we need to do is we need to tell the system that we're going to be executing Python scripts. We're going to be executing Python scripts in this directory. There is no Python. So to do that, let me locate that code here. Hmm. Here it is. I need to have another file. The name of it is .htaccess, create file, and you don't see it. Why don't you see it? Because it started with a period, and they're hidden. So we have to be able to see the hidden files. So I'm going to go up here to Settings, and I'm going to say click on Show Hidden Files. Those are dot files. And here it is, htaccess. So let's open this up, edit it, and we have to paste in these two lines. Options plus exec CGI, which means this in this directory we're going to execute CGI scripts, and add the handler where so it'll accept .py extension files, and it's a CGI script. Okay, so we save that, and then here's our back to our getkey.py. Then this will be recognized, and that's where the Python interpreter is. Then this should execute. Okay, so I've saved this, and so now when I go back and hit refresh, oops, I got an internal server error. Now what's the reason for that again? Okay, I believe the reason is because we have to do something special when we're operating on the web. If we were to, one good thing that you should try to do is to download a terminal handling program. And the one I like is called Bitvice. If you go to, let me exit out of here. No. Let's see. If you go to search for Bitvice, it's this one here. Where is it? The client. Download the client. I want to connect my computer to an SSH server. Okay, so it's already set up. Yeah, so that's what you want to download. And then when you open it up, it looks like this. And you're going to type in. You can create a new profile, and mine is richardh.that, and my username is that, and my password is let's see, I don't remember if this is my password or not. And you click login, and apparently it was not my password. Let me grab it. Oh, right. This is my password. And this opens it up, and what we really want is a terminal, which is new terminal console. And where is that? Oh, here, I end up over here. Let me put this over here. And we can execute this Python code. So if we go to cd public underscore HTML, cd, let's see, do a dir, cd toastmasters 04 dir, and we want to run python getkey.py, and it looks like this. Ah, it works. Hello world. Okay, so it worked when we ran from the command line, but it did not work when we run from the web. So it's because we need another. We need to print out a header, which is I'm going to look up Python HTTP content type header. I'm just going to say content type, and it should look like, should put something like um, content type. Well, I was trying to find a reference here to it, but it's basically, I'll just type it in here. It's print content type colon application. Yeah, it should do the application, since we're going to be returning. Let's just do JSON. And then you got to have a line feed. Okay, so you got to print that first. I think this will do it. Let's see. Refresh. Ah, there we go. Hello world. Okay. So now we've got a we have the starting of our get key program, which is going to take in the first and last name. It's going to return a valid key. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is we're going to import some stuff. We have to import JSON. We have to import that class, that library. Import a library called CGI, and we have to import a library called MySQLDB to connect to the database. And we're already printing out our content type thing up here. To grab out the name value pairs coming in, we can say form is equal to CGI.field storage, and then we can do well, let me just say print form first value, print form last. This is how you do it. Value. And so if we save this and we run this now, might not work. We can do print first equals Joe. See, now it's printing out Joe, and last equals Schmo. And now we've got that. Okay, so that works. So what we're going to do, though, is instead we're going to say if we have to test to make sure they're there before we try to access the database. So this is how you test is if it exists. If first is in form And last is also in form, colon. First, I'm going to create some variables here now. First equals form first dot value. Last equals form last value. And I'm going to do this, I'm going to create the first, what the key would be, for the first two characters of the key 2, I'm going to call it key 2, equals first, the first character of the string, first string, concatenated with the last character. And then I'm going to do the MySQL database connection, and that's going to look something like this. And this is data just taken from the server.php, but it looks like this. This is the connector variable. We connect to localhost, and then this is the login information to the database that comes from our server. I think that was at the top of this server.php. It's this data here, and I'm going to change this data. I'm going to change this password after I'm done with this. Anyway, so this is this connection string thing. This connects to the database. I've switched back to this database, and so that's going to connect to the server, and then we have to put this line in, which sets up a handle for it, I believe. And then we need to create a select statement, and if you watch the last video, what I'm doing here is I'm going to select all of the key values that start with the first two letters of the name that I entered. And so if you want to see how this thing works, let's just go copy this and let's go over to the database. And this is a big long database, and if we actually just put this select in there and fix it a little bit, like let's do JS, Joe Schmo. Should work. What's the matter with this? Oh, this little quotey thing there. All right, so this is what this does. Let's go, and we see this is what it returns. JS. These are the ones that are already there. Okay, so there's a JS1 already, and there's a JS2 already, and so if we were to add another one, we would want to use JS3. Okay, so what this does is this orders it with the highest one first. So that's what's going to come back, JS2. And so that's what's going to come back from here, from that select statement. And then we need to execute this select statement. And then we're going to check to see if the row count is equal to 0. And if it is, we're going to set the new key equal to these first two characters, JS if it's Joe Schmo, and we're going to make them uppercase, and then we're going to append a 1. We're going to concatenate a 1 onto the end of that. Otherwise, if the row count is greater than 0, which means there are other JS's in there, this doesn't automatically pop back, does it? We want to do this. And what this does is this grabs out, this fetches the first one, fetches the one on top, which is the one we would want. And it's called my, we're going to name it this one my result. What did we name it in our other example? We named it row. How about if we call it row? And then key is row of 0. It's the first one that comes back. We have to refer to it by its index, so it's the first one, the 0th one, and that's what key is. And then we want to take the integer portion, or we want to hack off the first two characters and just take the key following the first two characters, and that's just the number part. And we want to make that an integer, and then we want to add 1 to it. And then we want to, that's what we want this new key value to be. Same as this, except for we're going to append onto it the next higher number. Okay? And when that's done, then, oops. We want to go all the way back to here and do the else for this, and so else, and we're just going to say the same as we did in the previous video, new key equals underscore underscore 0, saying there's some sort of error. And then at the end we just want to print new key, print new key. That's it. So let's see if this works. I'm going to save this, save changes, and this one, Joe Schmo. What's this? Oh, it's still printing hello world. Ah, we don't need this hello world anymore. So save it. And we've got refresh hello world. Okay, so now it looks like it does. Let's say we do Mary Schmo. How about Andrea Schmo? Andrea Schmo. Yeah, okay, great. So let's so now that we've created our little API, let's integrate it into this register.php. Okay, so let's go to register.php. Here we are, and oh, I hope I didn't ruin something. Okay, so we need to, if you search for, let's bring up some sort of, okay, I'm going to search for AJAX example in JavaScript. And let's see. Okay, here's a program, AJAX example. Okay, so what this does is when this thing is invoked, it sends a request to this URL, and presumably it's on the same server, otherwise you gotta go through some other crap. But so this is the URL it goes to, and then whatever pops back is going to come back right here. And in this case, we are taking it in, we're writing it into an element on the screen, which is able to take HTML. All right, so I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to start with this. Copy this. Go over to my register.php, and I'm going to paste it in here. And this is what it looks like. And I'm going to rename this program getKey. And it's going to go to, so I'm going to start out, make a URL, and it's going to go to getkey.py question mark first equals quote, and I'm going to have a variable called first, which I'm going to first get that first, plus ampersand last equals quote plus a variable called last. So that's what my URL is going to be. That's what this is going to go in here, URL. And so I got to grab out first. First equals something. It's going to be, and then last equals something. And if first length is greater than 0 and last length greater than 0, and I'm going to do this confirm thing. That way we can see what it looks like before we send it off. Confirm URL. If that's true, then we're going to, let's invoke this stuff. Otherwise, we're not going to do it, and the URL creation is going to be above it. And we need semicolons in this language. Okay, first, and I'm going to do this something like this: document ID first dot value, and this is the same thing. Semicolon, except for its ID last. And we got that, and we're making sure that, and then we create this thing. Now, if first is length of greater than 0, last, and we put it out to the user to confirm that that's okay, then it sends it, and then this is where it comes back, right here. And we want to put that in ID key, the value of it. All right. We need to make sure that all these IDs are set up right. ID first, ID last, ID key. Okay, got to make sure that this is there, and this is there, and this is there. I think I put that there from the last time. And then let's invoke this method. Oh, do we need? I think we also need, no, I don't think we need anything else. I think that's all we need. So to invoke this thing, I'm going to do onChange equals. So if the first name changes, go to get key. And if the last name changes also. Okay, I think that's all we need to do. So let's save it. And so let's run it. Here it is. And if I do Joe Schmo tab, nothing happens. Oh, cannot read value. Okay, line 53. Line 53. ID key. ID key. Oh, cannot read. ID first name. ID first. Name. Name. There we go. Save changes. Refresh. Okay, no errors over here. Joe tab Schmo tab. Oh, first. So this is what it's sending off. And okay, and it pops back with that. How about if we do Randy? Oh, okay. Okay, Randy Hall, same initials as mine, and it says RH2. All right. Okay, so it looks like our Python version of the API that will return a valid key based on a first name and last name that's entered. That looks like that works. And so we've taken care of this one. All right. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching.